The Rams could need a new backup quarterback. Does Tua Tagovailoa make sense for the Rams? Also, we're talking Lakers. Can they make it 3 in a row? A reason why they won? We'll talk Peyton Watson. Could the Lakers go after P-Watt this summer? Is it a good idea? The Kings have a new head coach. They fired their last manager. We'll talk some hockey, some Go Kings Go in the LA Sports Report today. Also, the Dodgers. Should we be concerned about Roki Sasaki? We've got 3 spring standouts and 3 prospects that need to take the next step in their development. We're also talking some more USC and UCLA. All that more coming up next on the LA Sports Report.
LA is the sports capital of the world. The Lakers have entered their Luka Doncic era. LeBron doesn't just want a farewell tour, he wants a farewell title. The Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. Go, Kings, go! The Dodgers are the best run franchise in all of professional sports. Shohei Ohtani is the GOAT. Steve Ballmer will do anything to get the Clippers a championship. Mick Cronin has to win a national championship at UCLA. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in this league. College football is just better when USC is good. This whole city has the Mamba mentality. I love LA.
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is the LA Sports Report with your host, Doug McKain.
What is up, Los Angeles, and welcome to another episode of the LA Sports Report. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. This is my new show, my new channel dedicated to all LA sports. I'm loyal to the soil. Not just Dodgers, but Lakers, Rams, Chargers, UCLA, USC. If they're talking about it in the world of LA sports, we're talking about it here at the LA Sports Report. So do me a huge favor. If you haven't already, join the movement. Be a day one. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. Drop a like. Drop a comment. This is a live show. We got producer BDR rocking with us. Big Dog Rob. He's looking for all your comments, all of your takes throughout the show. We've got Noise by Noel Sanchez. He's rocking with us today. We're going to talk some Laker basketball with him. So there's so much to get into, though. Lots going on in the world of LA sports. So let's get right into it. All right, so the Rams, one of the more underrated topics this offseason is the fact that they may need a new backup quarterback. Now, of course, if Matthew Stafford's continuing his career, which he already said he's going to, coming off an MVP season, coming off 2 straight years where they lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion, you know that when healthy, they have no doubts about their QB1, but this is a 38-year-old quarterback. This is a guy that's dealt with injuries throughout his career. This is a team that is led by Sean McVay, who requires a veteran as a backup quarterback. And right now, Stetson Bennett, he could be your guy. He turns 29 in October. They drafted him in the 4th round. They like him. I don't think they love him. They love Jimmy Garoppolo, but the problem is Jimmy Garoppolo could be heading to Arizona. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, quote, free agent Jimmy Garoppolo heading to Arizona is a strong option. The Cardinals have interest, and Mike LaFleur is considered very close with Garoppolo, a league source said. LaFleur can create a clean path to restart his quarterback room by adding at least one veteran and drafting a quarterback. Something to keep in mind with Garoppolo, he has one of the league's best QB2 jobs with the Rams, who would welcome him back. And Jimmy Garoppolo had an interesting deal with the Rams where he was guaranteed $4.5 million. The deal was worth up to over $13 million with a lot of escalators and incentives. But Arizona, because of the situation they're in with the new coach, looking to draft a quarterback, they could be in a position where Jimmy Garoppolo could be a bridge QB. And if Jimmy Garoppolo, who's fallen forward his entire career, by the way, his career earnings, he's made $156 million. Jimmy Garoppolo living the good life. But if he wants one more crack at being a starting quarterback, there's a better chance for him to do that by joining his old offensive coordinator, Mike LaFleur, in Arizona than there is in staying with the Rams, because the only path to him being a starting quarterback with the Rams is if something were to happen to Matthew Stafford. And we know that if that were to be the case, that really you could kiss your Super Bowl hopes goodbye. This isn't the Rams losing Trent Green and getting Kurt Warner to win a Super Bowl situation with Jimmy G. So the topic now, though, is if, hypothetically, Jimmy Garoppolo is not back, what direction do the Rams go in? Do they draft a Ty Simpson out of Alabama? Do they look to go with a Drew Aller out of Penn State, a quarterback that possibly could be waiting in the wings that they would like to develop, have them work with Cliff Kingsbury, have them familiarize themselves with the Rams offense, and then they're the emergency backup quarterback? I don't think the Rams are going to go that route. I think what they're going to do if they lose Jimmy Garoppolo is find another veteran quarterback that can assume that role. Now, which veteran quarterbacks could be available this offseason? Well, you got Marcus Mariota. He's been one of the better backup QBs in this league. He's bounced around a couple different teams. Carson Wentz was on the Rams a couple of seasons ago before signing with KC. Zach Wilson has some upside potential. Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson. No, that's a no for me. No Russell Wilson, but he is an option, though. Russell Wilson could be an option. Or you can go hey, they're not totally done as far as accepting the role as a backup quarterback, but there's still some life in there. They still have a pulse as far as their possibilities of starting a game in the National Football League, and that is guys like Tua Tagovailoa, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. All four of those guys are expected to be available. And some of those guys, if they're available, they could be had at a price where they're trying to reestablish themselves as a quarterback. And we saw what Baker Mayfield did a couple years ago when he gets off the plane, he gets under center as QB1 for a Thursday night football game against the Raiders, and the Rams won that game. And Baker Mayfield said that Sean McVay and the Rams, they allowed him to love football again. And then Baker Mayfield, he parlayed that experience with the Rams to a new opportunity and a new deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there is a history and a track record of Sean McVay taking reclamation projects and putting them into better positions. Now, last year, Jimmy Garoppolo, he played in just 18 snaps and never threw one pass. They were all kneel downs or he handed the football off. So a reclamation project might say, hey, why would I go to the Rams? Because the only thing I can really get is practice time. And if you know anything about the Rams, Sean McVay lets the ones practice. He's not a guy that's trying to develop the number 2 or number 3 guy against other ones during practice sessions. But I'm just throwing it out there because it's interesting to me, is Tua Tagovailoa could benefit from a year where he's not getting banged up, from a year where he's not getting sent to injured reserve or having a concussion or having a multitude of different injuries. So give him a year to heal up that body, sit behind Matthew Stafford, see how it's done from an MVP, see what it's done playing with Sean McVay, and then whenever Matthew Stafford is gone, I don't think Tua Tagovailoa would be the answer per se as far as their franchise quarterback of the future, but he could potentially be a bridge quarterback while the Rams draft their next QB and allow him to develop. The worst thing you can do sometimes is throw a quarterback into the fire and expect results because you got to let them fail consistently. So if he was open to it and the Rams needed to fill that role, there could be worse options than Tua Tagovailoa. And I get it. He is a polarizing quarterback, one that has dealt with a slew of injuries throughout his career. Many people don't realize this, but Tua Tagovailoa is Hawaiian for Tim Tebow because he has that cult following. He's that left-handed quarterback that you just thought was going to be something, but never quite figured it out. So Tua, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of talk that he wants another job where he could have a chance to start. But the truth is, only 32 of those jobs on the planet, and his stock is at an all-time low. And the Rams are in a position where they're a destination franchise that is going to, at some point, have to decide who's going to get that job when Matthew Stafford is done. And sometimes the bridge guy is as important as the guy that's going to be the franchise guy. I mean, we saw that with Case Keenum and Jared Goff with the Rams, right? He was the bridge guy. We saw what Jared Goff was able to do. And yes, he didn't accomplish the ultimate, which is win the Super Bowl like Matthew Stafford, but he still is a really good quarterback in this league for a good amount of time and a better QB than most while he was playing with Sean McVay. So I'm not a big Tua guy, but I'm trying to set the stage for what it's going to look like after Matthew Stafford. And sometimes these are the moves you have to make that aren't the sexiest, delicious, pretty moves like the let's try to go for Max Crosby stuff. But there are moves on the margins that really set the tone for the future of your franchise. So we'll see. Tua to LA. By the way, one quick other thing about the Rams is the Rams are the betting favorites to trade for Max Crosby. And we talked about on yesterday's show, Max Crosby, could he be that big all-in game-changing move the Rams make this offseason? Well, right now, the betting odds favor the Rams, and I will say there's definitely some smoke there. The question is, will there be fire? All right, switching gears. Let's talk some Dodgers. This is what Dave Roberts has said has been the most boring spring, right? There's no storylines. You have writers desperate for things to talk about. No injuries, no drama. You don't got guys like Jurickson Profar getting suspended for PEDs with your team, things like that. But here's the thing. There are still really interesting subplots if you are interested in the future of this organization. And with the Dodgers, the lifeblood of this franchise is always going to be the farm system. Yes, you can always get guys through free agency when you're the Dodgers. Yes, money is no object. Yes, you can get guys via trade, but to get guys via trade, you have to have a healthy farm system. And the things to look for right now are some of these younger future potential role players to everyday starters to guys that can emerge as a star, because every time that happens, it's one less position you have to worry about. And then you can go after guys that would be luxuries in most cases, but because you have their roles behind them solidified, you can go after Edwin Diaz. You can go crazy with the Kyle Tucker signing. So it's still very important for the Dodgers to develop prospects because, one, the way this rotation is shaping out, we have not hit opening day and Blake Snell's not ready. Gavin Stone's had a shoulder setback. Would it shock you to see anyone else on this rotation have some type of injury issue this year? Would it shock you if they wanted to give Yoshinobu Yamamoto some extended time? If they wanted to give Tyler Glasnow a break at some point, or if something happens to him, a guy who's been traditionally a pitcher that has dealt with injuries? Roki Sasaki. I mean, every single one of these guys has dealt with something. So you want these prospects underneath to emerge in the event that you have to trade them for a starting pitcher. If that's Tarek Skubal, fine. But if it's someone also beneath that, there's a possibility as well. And my big master plan is you empty that clip. You give them the treasure trove of prospects for Paul Skeens. I still believe that the Dodgers are playing the long game to try to get Skeens to LA. I was talking to someone the other day that believes that the Yankees are trying to position themselves to trade for Paul Skeens and that they feel like he's going to be the next big thing in New York and him and Livy Dunn, and he's just that big star. But the Dodgers get their guy, and the Dodgers have a better farm system than the Yankees. So the more prospects that you can develop now, the better chance you have to get the guy you want. So a couple of these guys that developed so far this spring, the first one I want to talk about is outfielder James Tibbs. He has really looked good. The power has been there. You're seeing him hit triples and home runs. And he is someone that really saw his game climb towards the end of last season. In his final 36 games, He hit 269, had a 407 on base, slugged 493, a 17.3% walk rate. That's elite if that translated. Well, through 8 spring training games, James Tibbs III hitting 263, 333 on base, a 526 slug. And the only real concern is that strikeout rate at 38.1%. But if he can keep those power numbers up and the offense continues to trend the right direction and he proves that defensively he can be at the very least average, James Tibbs, that is the Dodgers prospect to watch right now because he's the most big league ready. Josue DePaul, Zaire Hope, and Eduardo Quintero, guys that are higher than Tibbs on the prospect ranking list, they're very intriguing prospects, but those are the guys that they're looking for 2027 and beyond. It's unlikely you're going to see those guys this season. James Tibbs could be the guy that comes up this year and earns a role if there's an injury, if someone is struggling. So that's definitely one. And then Roki Sasaki. We got to talk about Roki Sasaki because I think that if I was going to list the most fascinating topics so far, it's definitely, I think the first one is going to be Roki Sasaki. I think right behind him is Shohei Ohtani, and I'll talk about which Shohei topic is very intriguing to me. But I do think that with Roki Sasaki and his early spring development plan where he's trying to find this two-seam cutter, that he needs something to go left, that he needs to find another pitch to make hitters off balance and keep them honest. Well, the truth is they're spitting on that forkball and the fastball command isn't good enough. And if something does not change the next couple of weeks for Roki Sasaki, I don't think that he should start the season in the Dodgers rotation. I think that Roki Sasaki, unless things really start to click, you just throw him out there and hope for the best, because that's what they did last year. Last year it was, hey, you think you're a starter? Cool. When the lights turn on, you're going to be ready to go. And what happened? Through 8 starts, he had an ERA at almost 5. He had more walks than strikeouts. He looked like he was about to start crying in the dugout. The velocity was down. The command was down. He didn't have a third pitch. And quite frankly, he did not look like a big league pitcher that could be a starter and go through a rotation 2 or 3 times. And during the postseason, they essentially put a Band-Aid on him by saying, come out 1 inning, empty the tank, simplify the mix, go fastball splitter. And he did that. And he did that at a high level. But being a starter in this league is very different than being a reliever in this league. There's a reason why every reliever is a failed starting pitcher, because some guys just can't figure out that third pitch. Some guys just can't keep guys off balance enough to be able to stay in line. And my concern is this. I mean, there's a Roki Sasaki bobblehead. There's a Roki Sasaki jersey at Dodgers clubhouse, right? I didn't see a Gavin Stone or Justin Robleski or River Ryan jersey, right? So does Roki Sasaki have the plot armor here because of the Japanese pipeline and all the hype surrounding him? Or are you going to do what's best with Roki Sasaki, which was, if instead of Sasaki on the back of a jersey it said Ryan and he was pitching the way he is, there's zero chance he would start the season in this rotation based on how he's pitching right now. So it really makes me think, it makes me wonder, is there some favoritism right now? And of course the answer is yes. There's no doubt about it. That is because there was a promise made, or at least a plan in place in that initial, hey, that's why I'm going to the Dodgers. So they need to see Roki Sasaki turn things around for him to get really locked into this rotation early on, because I think this is not an anti-Roki thing. Is I'm his number 1 fan. I guarantee you, unless you're Jose Moto watching this, I knew about Roki Sasaki and was talking about Roki Sasaki before you, if you're watching this, right? No one wants Roki Sasaki to succeed more than me. My fear is that if you just throw him out there when he's not ready and when he's not right, that it's going to do more bad than good, that it could do some damage. If he gets off to the same start he had last year, what is Dave Roberts going to be asked about? Hey, you going to remove Roki to the bullpen? Hey, you going to put him to the IL? Hey, what's up with Roki Sasaki? Hey, does he have a third pitch? Why is the velocity down? Versus last year, the reason why he was a success in the postseason is because they slow played him down at the minor league level. And when he was ready to go, when things started to click mechanically and he got healthy, he was able to contribute to this team. So it's kind of like one of those things where, is he truly ready to go? Like, did he get his stamp from everyone? And I just don't know. By the way, the number one most mind-blowing, I think, topic, though, even more than that, is Shohei Ohtani. And wow, breaking news, Shohei Ohtani is interesting, right? But I was watching the MLB Network preview for the Dodgers where they had Greg Amsinger and Jake Peavy, and I was about to fall asleep. And at the end of the show, I saw them debating about Shohei Ohtani's year, and Amsinger predicted that he was going to win the Cy Young, and Jake Peavy predicted that he was going to hit 60 home runs. Just think about how insane that is. Like, the average human mind, the advanced human mind can't comprehend. It's like trying to understand the distance between time and space and just the most complicated things in the world. Your brain can't wrap your head around the fact that we're having an honest discussion, an honest conversation about one player being the best pitcher in the game and hitting 60 home runs. Yoshinobu Yamamoto was the Dodgers' best pitcher last year by a mile. He could probably get 1,000 at bats and play 15 seasons and never hit a home run. And Shohei Ohtani, this thing, could be the best pitcher and hit 60 home runs. Look, it would take a lot for Shohei to win the Cy Young because that guy I talked about a few minutes ago, Paul Skeens, exists. But if he missed time and Shohei gets the starts, the requisite starts, we know the narrative would support that, but Shohei's never pitched more than 135 innings. But yeah, it's absolutely mind-blowing what Shohei's able to do on a dime. But all right, let's switch gears to the Lakers. So first, I want to play this clip. A lot of Lakers fans, Noel sent me this clip. Noel and BDR both sent me this clip. They're really excited about this clip. And I was talking about, why the Lakers snapped their losing streak. Was it just better offense? Great play calling by JJ Redick, Luke Kennard, LeBron, Luka. They said no. The reason why the Lakers snapped their losing streak was because of what BDR said was, quote, courtside baddies, right? So let's run this clip right here, BDR, of these Lakers fans. And we'll take a look at that because here's the thing. Oh, there they are.
God. That one right there.
Nice song choice, BDR.
She looked like
a
sure, heaven. I ain't gonna lie. No wonder the Lakers up 20 right now, man.
It's a diabolical song choice, BDR. Is that Let's Get On with Marvin Gaye? Oh my god, that's a wild song choice, BDR. But here's the thing. I want to say this, that yes, those ladies maybe had a good positive impact. I think the reason why the Lakers won was because they played the Sacramento Kings. And they also played the Golden State Warriors before that. And look, if they are the good luck charm, give them courtside seats, have them sit at every game. I'm here for that. But I don't know. It's always kind of hilarious. You always think of that Jordan Poole and Austin Reeves and OG Anunoby playing in front of Suni Lee and that kind of thing. But I mean, how big of an impact can this have, Noel?
Hey, man, you never know, especially with some of the guys that are single. You want to put on a show no matter where you're at, but especially in LA. The people sitting courtside are much different at Crypto.com Arena compared to other basketball arenas. So they might have looked to the sideline, saw people watching, and just wanted to put on a little better show than usual. Hey,
I mean, it's kind of one of those things. You're at the park or whatever, and you see someone you know. Like it could be the difference between you dropping a triple-double, you just kind of not caring.
Exactly.
But hey, give these girls on the payroll. Like now, here's the thing. Everyone's saying, oh, the Lakers, now they have the Dodgers ownership. This is not baseball. There's a salary cap, right? There's other ways you can flex your muscles, right?
Exactly.
There's other ways you can flex that financial muscle. Give these ladies courtside seats. And hey, have them at every game. Let's see if it works. Have that. You can also have the Zuri James alley-oop. I mean, hey, at this point, I'm willing to experiment. I'm willing to try new things. BDR, I mean, how big of a deal do you think this is? I mean, was this the reason why the Lakers won their last game?
Yeah, probably.
Really? Just their extra motivation? Wow. We should try to get them on the show. Maybe we'll send a BDR on that, and he can try to like Instagram them to come on the show. I'm pretty sure they're big fans. I wouldn't be surprised. But there you go. Big shout out to those Lakers for helping the Lakers win. Now, speaking of the Lakers, the Lake Show back in action against the Pelicans, trying to make it 3 in a row. 7:30, Crypto.com Arena. And I think the big question is, can they build that momentum? I mean, Luka Kennard put up 27 points off the bench in the 2 games that they just won against the Warriors and the Kings. He's the highest scorer among non-starters. It's a huge development for the purple and gold. Not only does he improve the bench scoring, but hey, he helps his offense get above average. He helps Luka Doncic get some space. He can cut to the basket. He can screen for teammates. I mean, the last 2 games showed how much of an X factor a true shooter can be. And at this point, hey, Luka Kennard, I don't think you're just playing for this season. You're playing for your future in the NBA. And if he puts up this strong finish the next 24 games, like that could be the difference between $10 to $15 million. Wouldn't you say, Noel?
Actually, I mean, 3-and-D players are among the most coveted for any contender, any team across the NBA. So if he keeps shooting at a high clip, gets a couple more attempts in there, and holds his own on defense, he's going to be very valuable to this Lakers team. I think the number one goal for the Lakers the rest of the season, of course, they're going to try to make a run, but I think the front office and the coaching staff, they're just going to be closely looking at this roster, seeing what pieces are going to be a part of this Luka era. You know, you're going to mix and match a little bit. There's going to be a front office rehaul. They have a couple targets, and we're going to talk about Peyton Watson later in the show. But I think about that 2020 Lakers championship team. You had players that were there for a couple of years on those teams that weren't doing much. You had JaVale McGee, you had KCP. And then once you traded for Anthony Davis, the Lakers knew what pieces they wanted to hold on to and what guys they needed to move on from. And then once you got AD, Danny Green, everybody slotted in nicely. So Luka Kennard, he's someone that if the Lakers trade for Giannis, he would fit in. If they sign Peyton Watson, he would fit into that. So if he continues the trajectory that he's on, I do believe that he's going to get a nice little payday from the Lakers, and he's going to find a home. At the end of the day, these veteran guys, they want to get a multi-year deal. They don't want to stay on these 1-year, 2-year deals where they're just finding new homes, moving their families. So I like what I'm seeing from Luka Kennard, Doug.
Yeah, I think that you look at just infusing this team with a shooter. It's kind of the old adage that shooting is contagious, and it feels like this team has gotten more of a rhythm back, and you couldn't have played 2 bad teams at a better time in the Warriors and the Kings. LeBron shot better. Reeves has shot better. Luka's playing at MVP level. You got Luka Kennard. Rui Hachimura, I don't know if you saw this. You see Rui Hachimura replacing LeBron for the pregame routine, and he couldn't throw the ball correctly.
That was rough.
Like, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's kind of dumb. It seems meaningless, but you do get a really good sense of the connectivity of a team.
Absolutely.
And are guys laughing? Have guys checked out? Are guys still bought in? And it lets me know that, like, as rough of a stretch as it's been, and look, the numbers are the numbers. We've talked about how poorly they played against the above 500 teams in this league. This team still has pieces. And I was seeing something that I totally agreed with, that this is a Lakers team that has a lot of talent and could find it. And when I see people saying a lot of talent, you're trying to lump Luka in with LeBron and Reeves and all those guys. My response to this is no. It's not can the Lakers, it's can Luka go nuclear. Luka Doncic is one of just a handful of guys in this league that could get hot enough and catch fire enough to win an entire series. We saw Rui a couple years ago. Big game against Memphis. Awesome. Cool. Luka can do it for 7 games in a row.
Exactly.
And that's kind of one of those things that just keeps me optimistic about, hey, I'm hope. It is hopium, and hope is a hell of a drug. But they literally have an MVP level player at the peak of his powers who just turned 27. I heard Bill Simmons. You see, Bill Simmons was talking about how Luka Doncic hasn't won an MVP.
Yeah.
And I think the highest he finished was 3rd.
Yeah.
The MVP will come. Don't worry about that. It's about looking at where you're at this stage of your career and warming up to this new teammate. And I look at this. Luka's 27. You're talking crap about the fact he hasn't won his first MVP. Kobe was 29 when he first won his MVP. Yeah. You just got to win it once. Yeah. Let's be honest. You got to just 2, 3, 4, 5. All that's great. He's got to win it once. And I still think he's in a position where in the next couple of years, they put a better team around him. He's right there with Shea and Wemby and Joker. The only guy that I fear really to make it where it's not a conversation is Wemby. If the record's there and he's as dominant as he can be. But other than that, it's like he's certainly going to be in the mix.
Absolutely. And MVPs, there's so many narratives to go along with it. There's the East versus Western thing where the East has been weaker for years and you get good stories out of those. And Luka has just been playing in an era that's been a little weird because you've had the older 2010 superstars still holding their own. And you've also had a generational talent, 2 generational talents in Giannis and Nikola Jokic. So I agree with you. I think 27 years old, he's in an organization that is all in on building around him, that has already shown that even though we have arguably the greatest player of all time, LeBron James, we are willing to punt on this season and wait for this offseason to get you the pieces you need to contend for the next 5-7 years of your career. So I agree completely with you. I think Bill Simmons, man, he's coming from a Celtics household, Celtics love.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. There's always something there.
He's going to find a way to throw jabs anyway. And when I look at the playoffs too, Doug, I mean, I always come back to that Minnesota Timberwolves teams from the past couple of years. In the regular season, they weren't incredibly good. They were always 4th, 5th seed. But on top of Anthony Edwards playing incredible basketball, you also had Naz Reid. You had Karl-Anthony Towns putting up really good performances. So I think if you get those really good performances from Luka Doncic, and you also have Austin Reeves come in and do a lot better than he has the past 2 postseasons, you're going to be in a good spot and you will be able to surprise some teams, especially if you end up on that other side of the Western Conference bracket. You avoid the OKC Thunder, you avoid the Denver Nuggets, you'd be in a much better spot.
Yes, go off, King. I mean, I think that's definitely where I'm at too, is that it's about matchups, it's about seeding. And right now, if you look at who their best matchup could be in the first round, it's likely either going to be the Rockets, the T-Wolves, the Nuggets. The Suns have an outside chance of getting that 6th spot, and there's an outside chance of the 3rd spot. It's extremely wishful thinking at that point for Lakers fans. But realistically, if you could somehow, some way match up with the Rockets, like if you could be like the Rockets would really have to prove to me that they can beat a team of Luka Doncic. LeBron James, I think at that point is completely emptying the tank.
Yeah.
Rui has been a playoff player. I don't even think you'd even need the very best version of Austin Reeves. I think last year with 0 center, you need Reeves to be great to beat the T-Wolves. I don't necessarily think you would need that to knock off the Rockets.
Exactly. The Rockets' chemistry is all over the place too after those KD burners. So,
dude, those KD burners are crazy.
That'd be a really favorable first round matchup for the Lakers. I'd feel really good about that.
And I think too, I just don't want to see the Wolves or the Nuggets. The Wolves, we know Ant's going to try to cook us.
We've seen that enough already.
We've seen that enough. Also, dude, their defense in the playoffs really goes up a notch. Dude, they start clamping.
Naz Reid is a big game player. Naz Reid will step up. I wanted the Lakers to get him for so many years. He's a bucket.
Exactly. And I'm looking at, wait a minute. So I'm supposed to be afraid of a KD Sengun 2-man game in a half-court offense. I mean, what scares me is a Murray Jokic half-court offense and ISOs, right? I mean, that kind of scares me. But hey, somehow, some way, Adam Silver, write the script. Give us Lakers Rockets, and then you get one series win, and you start to build that necessary delusional self-confidence. Because look, maybe the Spurs and the Thunder they're the Thunder, right? But the way I look at it is of course, this is dream scenario. This is hopium, but it's not like we're talking about the Pacers winning the finals right now, right? I mean, we're talking about a team that's going to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
I think the deeper the run goes, the better it is for your chance of knocking off the Thunder, because at some point that attrition starts to build up and it's like, wow, like, are we just going to keep having deep runs and deep runs and deep runs? The reason why the Lakers are the last team to three-peat and back-to-back is rare. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with the Lakers. Like, yeah, you got to face the Thunder at some point, but to avoid them early, they're not getting knocked off early.
Exactly.
Right. The only chance you have is to get them late. When they get them late, it's, hey man,
you
like
saw it last year too. The Nuggets took them to 7. The Pacers took them to 7. There were times where they looked really vulnerable. So, and the Lakers, I mean, Lakers have had, this year hasn't been that good, but last year you had that blowout win after they got Luka. So it's like, I think the Lakers have the talent to give any team a good series.
Exactly. And I think in a perfect scenario, I think the Suns, if you get to kind of handpick one, obviously the Lakers don't have those 3-and-D wings that you need to stop 3-point shooters in the playoffs that are so crucial. But yeah, I mean, I just look at that. I mean, or you imagine too. I mean, if a team knocked off the dream scenario would be if the Spurs
they did the job for us.
Could do the job and they knock off the Thunder. Imagine like Rockets, Wolves, Spurs, or Wolves, Rockets, Spurs, and then Knicks, bro. Like, I mean, crazier things have happened, right? I mean, we just saw the Dodgers win a crazy World Series. Exactly. I mean, obviously that was a different roster, but yeah, it's fun to think about. I'll tell you that much. Now, let's talk some P-WAP, by the way. I know you're big on this possibility. I saw a short you did for BR talking about this, and you don't need to sell me on Peyton Watson, okay? You had me at UCLA.
I think you sold me on P-Watt a few years ago before he was even.
You know what? I'm not gonna try to take a victory lap here, and it was delusional and blind by me. But watching him so closely at UCLA, I was like, holy smokes, this dude is an NBA athletic wing, bouncy, long. Like, he's got so many tools, right? And the only question was, can he develop an offensive game? I remember hearing Peyton Watson talking about how his senior year was taken away from him because of COVID. And then he goes to UCLA, and I was like, it doesn't look like he's got any type of bag or package or any type of scoring ability. Yeah. And he's found a way to develop, and give the Nuggets credit. They're one of the better teams in the NBA at developing talent. And he's going to set himself up for a big RFA offer.
Yeah, I had a little vendetta against P-Watt because I played him in high school when he was at Poly.
He
gave my team 40.
So you were on the court same time as Peyton Watson.
Same time as P-Watt.
Man,
he didn't give me 40, but he gave my team.
Did you ever defend him?
Yeah, I got a couple switches.
So you actually like touched him?
Yeah, actually.
What part was your arm? After the show, I'm gonna touch the arm that touched Peyton Watson, because that means something to me, dog.
Exactly. No, like what I really like about P-Watt is every year the jumper's gotten better. The 3-point percentage has gone up with more attempts. He hasn't been scared to fill in those games where Nikola has been out this season. He stepped up big time on the scoring end. He guards some of the best perimeter players every single night. Just a really good two-way player, exactly what you want on a contending team. Athletic, doesn't have an ego, can play alongside ball handlers, and Jokic and Murray knows his role. And that's what you need in this next era of the Lakers. An athletic wing that could kind of do it all, that gets better. And when you look at players next to Luka Doncic that have thrived in the past, he has been able to do that with them. So I'm all in on P-Watt. I really hope that the Nuggets, with all that salary that they owe to Murray and Aaron Gordon and Jokic, kind of let him slip through the cracks, and the Lakers are able to steal him away in the offseason.
And the fact is, too, the Nuggets, they didn't extend it before the season, and they're not going to extend it before the season. And with the new CBA, the second apron, I mean, all those things, all those factors, it feels like that's going to open things up. Now, the question for the Lakers becomes, with that $50 million in cap space, can you swing a deal, an RFA type of contract for Peyton Watson, get Reeves, and just maximize this roster? Do you see a world where it's Peyton Watson, Reeves, and Giannis? That seems unrealistic. Yeah, but if you had to pick between Peyton Watson, Reeves versus getting Reeves to agree to some sign and trade for Giannis and then no pay, I mean, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think number one option, no matter what, is to get Giannis by any means. Like, that should be the Lakers' number one priority. But if you miss out on Giannis and he goes to like the Knicks, or if for some reason the Bucks continue to hold on to him, Peyton Watson is really, really good. Plan B or plan C, and you just fill out that roster. You have a little bit more cap space. You don't have to trade as many pieces away, and he would be part of that building block. He'd be part of that the next, like I said, 5 to 7 years that the Lakers will be contending. He fits the timeline really well, and I would choose Giannis for sure. That's my first choice, but moving to Peyton Watson as another plan would be good.
That's the way I look at it too, is that with Peyton Watson, it feels like you set up a run where you don't put so much pressure on Luka and Giannis to win in year one, or Luka and Giannis to win in year two. Exactly. And then all of a sudden a Giannis injury strikes, and then it's like, what does this roster look like? And it's at that point you feel like you're totally screwed either way. But just kind of looking at it, I mean, the Nuggets, $59 million for Jokic, $50 for Jamal, Gordon's $32 million, Johnson $23.1 million, Braun $26.1 million. The Nuggets, they have $185.7 million just for those 5 players alone. And the projected salary cap for next season right now is at $166 million. So the Nuggets are going to be well over that to keep that core in place. And then you got some other players on your roster as well. So the first apron's at $210.7 million. The second one's at $223.7 million. So the Nuggets, they could re-sign him for sure, but you're going to well over that second apron. And we know that that has very harsh implications and restrictions where you can't aggregate players in trades. And it just landlocks your roster. And if you're the Nuggets, is Peyton Watson that guy? I mean, here's the thing. I mean, that month that he had in January, he was averaging 22, 5-2, the steals, the blocks, shooting 42% from 3. It's like he's one of those players that's built for 2026, 2027 NBA basketball.
Yep, exactly. And when you look at my only fear is that they're seeing what happened with that MPJ and Cameron Johnson trade. Cam Johnson hasn't worked out well at all for them so far. Meanwhile, MPJ was playing like a near all-star this whole season for the Brooklyn Nets. And Peyton Watson has kind of done what they were hoping Cam Johnson would do. The playoffs is really what's going to tell. That's the reason why they traded MPJ. They traded for the April, June, July run. But yeah, Peyton Watson he fits the current NBA, and he's thriving so far. I really like his development.
So that's the thing too, with a lot of these restricted free agents, especially when you don't have like a lot of the big guys available that are no-brainer signings, you're taking a risk no matter what.
Yeah.
And I look at a guy like we saw Quentin Grimes, right? He had his Linsanity run, and then he ended up really not being that same player. And then you look at a guy like Alexander Walker for the Hawks on that sign and trade. Like he's put together a really, really nice return on that. So at the end of the day, I think the potential certainly there. And I think too, it's kind of one of those things where if he wasn't a restricted free agent, man, would he sign himself to the Lakers? Right. I mean, you wonder just how much he wants to be a Laker and play. Yeah. I mean, the reason why I remember he was on, I forgot his podcast he was on. It was like Paul George or Baron Davis. With P. Watt. He literally said, like, hey, like I went to UCLA because they were the premier program when my parents were young. I want to stay on the West Coast. And like geography matters for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a podcast P that he was on. I remember that. Yeah, he spoke very highly of following his parents' footsteps and playing in LA.
Yeah, no, it'd be pretty cool to see LA, Peyton Watson on the Lakers.
But some good comments, man.
We do. Let's check it out. All right, let's we got BDR rolling over here. Akrumanan. Can everyone change their profile name to just like Bob?
Oh, that's Aku Ramon.
He's not just like any Ramon. He's a cool Ramon.
Yes.
He's a cool version of Ramon Sessions. Shout out to Ramon Sessions. Bobcats trade, right? Giannis is Wizards actually, right? Giannis is due for Achilles. Hate to say it, but body don't lie. I like that kind of a play on ball don't lie, but body don't lie. I think we've talked about this either on this show or kind of outside the show, is that calf thing never goes away. To me, it's the equivalent of in baseball when you have right forearm inflammation and they try to give you a PRP to see how you respond, but then all of a sudden, eventually you end up getting Tommy John surgery. It almost feels like, is that kind of the path for calf injuries? It's calf injuries leading to the Achilles. So,
and
that's my big fear is he a ticking time bomb? And you invest in that. The same token, it's like if you can get a top 3 to 5 player, you try to get a top 3 to 5 player and hope for the best. But then that is definitely a major red flag. It really is. Are you going to get the lemon? Jared Allen to the Lakers makes the Lakers chip bound. I think he'd be a good addition for sure. Pablo Watson is a bench player at best. Watson is not a starter. See, that's a fair. Like, it's not a ridiculous take because he hasn't been an elite starter for an entire season. And I think that, if you're the Lakers, is kind of the hope, is that you see the vision and the Nuggets don't. Is that the Nuggets might say, we see what this guy is in-house and we don't think that he has the potential to be what other things are going to talk themselves into thinking he could be. I see the athleticism. I see the upside. I certainly think that in this day and age, he could be a starter. David, LA Rams should go after Kenneth Walker III. I saw the Seahawks are not going to franchise tag him. That's interesting. We got Bloodhound Lil Jeff. DMac, I named my German Shepherd after you. My second choice was Johnny Sins. Okay. It's an honor. You're my dog, and you named your dog after me.
That's a good duo.
That is, man. Hey, did you name it Doug DMac? I mean, what did you name it? That's interesting. And this guy must love dogs because his name is Bloodhound Lil Jeff. That's a long name. Bloodhound Lil Jeff. I got this thing on Instagram. It was like your rap name is Lil and the last thing you're in the hospital for. So shout out to me. I'm Lil Back.
Nice.
I'm Lil Back, but I never left, if you know what I'm saying. We've got Hopium from Ray. What's up, DMac and Noel? Claudia. Whoa. All right. Noel. We've got a cool Ramon says Luka is less physically tough and then mentally Larry Bird. Bird's really a great passer and a shooter, but the similarities are there. Yeah, I don't give a, you know what anyone would say. Yeah, I mean, look, we know the similarities. Look, let's call it what it is. People are always going to compare white players to white players, right? And we heard the Luka Larry Bird stuff. Yeah, Larry Bird is a fantastic passer. Luka Doncic, I think, is a great playmaker and passer as well. Wadib, of course, producer Noel would be all over the baddies. Okay, full disclosure, that was not Noel. That was 100% BDR. That's the thing.
Sir.
My bad, BDR.
Rob personally filmed that TV.
Oh, yeah. Not this thing. BDR was actually behind the camera on that one.
No, it was that dude, you know, Famous Los on Instagram.
Oh, look at someone says, Wadib says, what's day? Ralph Lauren Polo Day or what? Bro, we're like grossly, disgustingly matching.
Yeah.
We look, you know what we look like?
It's kind of crazy.
We look like we're Olympic basketball players on like the opening ceremony where they're wearing like the same outfit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. I got like the lame millennial black skinny jeans and Noel's got the cool like Chrome Hearts baggy jeans.
I wish they were chrome.
I kind of killed the vibe with the skinnies, bro. Carino, let's go. Noel appearance. Let's go. We got Go Taeyon. As long as LeBron is there, will to play a team year in and year out. I mean, what does that even mean? Grammarly, please. Jose,
But you said that there'll be a play-in team.
Oh, so okay.
Why are you roasting?
My bad. That's on me. I took the L on that one. As long as LeBron is there, there will be a play-in team. They will be a play-in team year in and year out. Okay, I get it. The message is loud and clear. I get what you're saying. They're going to be a play-in team. Hopefully they can avoid the play-in this year. I mean, there's a world where they can. And hey, Denver's got one of the most difficult schedules down the stretch too. That's something to consider as well. So let's not forget about that. Justin Lamas. Okay, this is going to be good. If Profar was the host of this podcast, it would be called PEDSR. Finish him. Banger right there, Justin Lamas. This is a cool one. James Tibbs III is my dad from Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Interesting. A core mode says 2 to the Rams. I said that on JE Live. Cap casualty 1.5 million. Baker 2.0. Hey, JE Live. He's talking about Jake Ellenbogen. Remember we had him on the show, BDR? He's a cool dude, bro. He got that chain. He's got that gold chain.
You should wear a chain on the show.
You know what? I gotta bring my. I'm gonna just instead of wearing a chain, I'm gonna button on my top button. All right, DMac. Can we trade the Chargers for the Raiders? But they need their own stadium. Look, it would be cool to have the Raiders in LA. It's not going to happen. The Chargers have that incredible facility in El Segundo, so that's probably not going to happen anyway. But still, it is what it is. A couple more. You guys are bringing the comments today. BDR, we got Jose Villanueva, but those aren't tortas. Those are filet mignon. Wadib, Rams trade back like 19 for 2 firsts. We tell Mekhi Lemon to act like he went to USC, and then he falls. Next year we get Arch. We playing 5D checkers, bro. I'm definitely in on Arch Manning. I know that Les Snead is in on Arch Manning too. They need to have a really good wire-to-wire, really great season, right? I mean, Arch Manning is that moment where they were playing Michigan and he was like, they showed him and he said, at this point, I'm just not going to give an F. Like, we'll see how he looks from that moment on. And if he performs well, I'm here for it. All right, we'll get back to the comments. The Kings, the LA Kings fired their coach, their manager, and they brought in DJ Smith as his replacement. So the Kings, they fired Coach Jim Hiller after 2 seasons. They announced this on Sunday. Associate head coach DJ Smith is taking over as interim and expected to serve in that role for the remainder of the season. The Kings are coming off a bad month of February. They had a 5-game losing streak that ended on Saturday with a 2-0 win over Calgary. They were outscored 14-5 in a couple losses after the Olympic break. I tuned into that Edmonton game because the Oilers, we hate them. That's our biggest rival. And it was 2-1 when I tuned in, and the Kings ended up losing 8-1. So, yeah, the Kings, they ended up releasing a statement that read, "I want to thank Jim Hiller for his dedication, professionalism, and the commitment he showed to our players and our team every day. He is respected as a coach and a person, and we appreciate the work he's done behind our bench. At this point in the season, we believe a change in leadership is necessary to give our group the best opportunity to reach that potential and compete at the level we expect. These decisions are never made lightly, but our responsibility is to position this team for success now and moving forward." So Smith is 48. He was the head coach of the Ottawa Senators for parts of 5 seasons in 2019 to 2024. Really be interesting to see what they can do. And Hiller got a lot of criticism. I remember being at a Kings game, and if I'm basing the fans' reactions during that game, they wanted this guy gone months ago because you had that really bad, unsuccessful coaches challenge for the Oilers game-time goal in Game 3 of the first-round loss. Edmonton, they would go on to score the game winner on an ensuing power play, and that failed challenge just blew it, and the Kings end up losing after blowing a 2-0 series lead. So we need the Kings to be great. Going to a hockey game and watching the silver and black is a great experience. Kings fans deserve better, but this is long overdue. Am I right, BDR? Oh, who's your hockey team?
I don't know.
So you mean to tell me if you had to pick a team, you wouldn't pick the Kings? All right, give me a go Kings go at least.
Go, Kings, go.
There we go, baby. We got a new Kings fan. Hey, Kings, go. Okay, BDR, when's the last time you actually been to a hockey game?
I watched the Mighty Ducks too.
The Mighty Ducks too. So you mean, did you watch the Mighty Ducks as well? Or are you talking about Mighty Ducks 2, the movie? You're talking about D2.
The D2 Mighty Ducks.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we could talk Gordon Bombay all day. Trust me. I mean, if you want to go that route, that's a classic. But still, it's all about the Kings. All right, switching gears here. A little update on this Chad Baker-Mazara saga from USC. We still have not learned exactly why he's off the team, but I did want to play this clip of Gilbert Arenas, whose son Elijah Arenas plays for USC. Here's a reel he dropped after it came out that Mazara had left the team mid-game.
Right before the tournament, this is what we doing. Our best player, Mr. I get buckets every night. He brings it every night. Guaranteed 18, 20 every night. I got my 4 on. I don't know who he cussed out, but get over it. He's right. Right? When you the best player on the team, whatever you say, you right. If he says them suck, he's right. We watching the game. Give him the ball. Fuck out the way. That's the offense. Damn. We supposed to be playing in the tournament, man. Now we got to watch this junior varsity ass team playing by their goddamn selves.
So this really is a wild story because we really have not found out exactly what is happening. I mean, this is USA's leading scorer, the Trojans' leading scorer. He was dismissed from the men's basketball program after a, quote, accumulation of issues amid the Trojans' 5-game losing streak. He was averaging 26 points early, but when Big Ten play started to come around, he started missing games for reasons unknown. And after the Nebraska loss, Eric Musselman was answering questions about what happened. So the school announced on Sunday that he was no longer a member of the team. USC didn't offer any explanation for the reason why he was gone. But the LA Times reported that a person familiar with the situation, not authorized to speak publicly, that it was not one incident, but an accumulation of issues that led to his exit. And what made things really wild is he left Saturday's loss to Nebraska a few minutes into the second half after he was chased down on a lay-in and he fell hard on the court. And Eric Musselman, he said after the game, that he told coaches that he was unable to return, and he spent the rest of the game in a folding chair on the baseline. It looked like the dude was sitting with fans. It looked like the guy had just left the program and got a ticket and was sitting with fans. And a day later, Baker-Mazara, he was done. He left the Trojans, who are basically out of the tournament, but you're never really out of it with the Big Ten tournament. There's a lot of really good opponents with Purdue and Illinois and Michigan. I mean, who knows what could happen if USC and Eric Musselman caught fire. We saw what he did a couple years ago at Arkansas, and now USC, losers of their last 5 games, with just 2 more games left in the regular season to try to improve their NCAA tourney resume, and they're left without their leading scorer. Like I was saying, what happened to the days of giving it 2 weeks notice at least? This dude just absolutely quit on the spot. And now USC is without a guy that was averaging 18.5 points per game. He was their best 3-point shooter at 38%. And now he's completely gone. Eric Musselman said about it, he said that he's got a lot of charisma. There's never going to be a dull moment. It might be that I've got a little more on my plate as far as coaching him and having him develop into the player that he wants. But this is just a really, really weird story, especially just because his play trended on the way down. And the weird thing about all this too is the dude is 26 years old. He's 8 years removed from high school. He's 8 years removed from high school. He's played at 5 different programs. I don't know if he just left to start his career overseas or get a job at Dick's Sporting Goods. I don't know what happened, but this guy is gone, and it's a very strange thing for USC. And I think it's a bad look for Eric Musselman, quite frankly. I mean, it's not like UCLA is doing that much better, but like this is one of the more bizarre stories that we've seen. The Baker-Mazara is a very bizarre story.
No, it really is. Like, especially with how tight-lipped everyone is right now, just leaving stuff up for speculation. I know we were getting trolled by a couple of fake accounts yesterday when we were trying to get to the bottom of it. But I'm really curious to see how this continues to progress and what this means for the future of just how players kind of use their power and relationships with coaches. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's going to be extremely interesting just because, I mean, I hope this guy's not going to use Eric Musselman and USC as a job reference, right? I mean, how that thing ended. And you mentioned those fake accounts, and yeah, it kind of turned into the butt of these jokes, and everyone was joking about it. But are we sure those were even? I mean, those were actually fake? I thought those were real. I mean, the one that where he's been officially. It says this is from Scott Hughes. History: USC star Chad Baker-Mazara has officially been removed from his parents' health insurance plan. Baker-Mazara is the 9th active D1 men's college basketball player to achieve this feat. He turned 26 years old today. I'm shocked. I thought that was real. And this one too. I mean, he's 26. And here's another one. USC star Chad Baker-Mazara was benched against Michigan State after arriving late to a team practice earlier this week. Baker-Mazara, who turns 26 this month, told coaches he was stuck at the DMV renewing his driver's license for the second time in the past 10 years. So you mean, wait, these aren't real? I thought these are real, right, BDR? I mean, geez, I guess I've been duped, but hey, either way, I think that the biggest takeaway here though is this is kind of all seriousness, like this is a good example of what's wrong with modern day college athletics. Like this is not a good look. Guys can change teams and enter the portal and take these NIL deals, and you're essentially a free agent after every single season. And then teams like USC, who they are going to tap into that transfer portal and get guys like this, you get this really embarrassing moment. So it just doesn't feel like there's the loyalty there used to be. And for a guy like this, that it's not like he wasn't a contributor. It's not like he wasn't a player that they relied upon. That's what just kind of makes it really, really strange. And the wild thing is, I think I saw somewhere, isn't Anthony Edwards 2 years younger than him? Like,
because he's 26, right?
Oh, here's the bigger question. Should 26-year-olds be able to play in collegiate athletics?
When you guys told me he was 26, I was like, bro, that's crazy. Like 26 years old playing. I don't know, man. It's different now with all the eligibility, the COVID years, the redshirt years. College sports is in a weird spot right now. You got your boy Amari Bailey about to come back after being drafted and playing in games.
Yeah.
Kyrie Walker, I heard he's going to try to come back to playing college ball.
I mean,
like, let Ben Simmons go back to LSU at this point.
Exactly. I mean, it's a very, very slippery slope. I mean, if we were all, I mean, here's the thing too. It's like, bro, like, I mean, dude, if we were all like 28 and play college basketball, like I'm pretty sure like you didn't know me when I was in my like peak athletic prime in like 26, 27, 28. I think I could play like D3 somewhere. At that age. No, but not play, but at least be like a practice squad player there.
I see.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think this didn't really hit me until I was reading. I'm like, did you say 26 years old?
26 is crazy.
The dude is, I mean, he's older than Zion Williamson, and Zion Williamson was drafted in what, 2019?
2019.
Like, how is this, that dude is, my man's avoiding LinkedIn at all costs. Like, my man's avoiding the real world at all costs. Exactly. So, dude, like, I think hopefully they take this to where it's like, hey, bro, like, I mean, dude's like 32, father of 8. Like, we gotta chill on this. But really interesting. I don't know why, but I could probably talk about this all day. I don't know why. I find it so fascinating. But let's end here on a positive. I know it seems biased. I'm doing like a bad USC story and a good UCLA story. Trust me, as a UCLA alum, no one hates UCLA more than me as far as their lack of success in football and basketball over the last decade plus. But this guy gives me hope. Bob Chesney might go down as the best coaching hire since John Wooden. Like, obviously he hasn't won a game, but this is a guy that, by all accounts, and just speaking to some very high-level boosters at UCLA, what they tell me is when Deshaun Foster was the head man there, even though Deshaun Foster is arguably the best offensive player coming out of UCLA, playing the Super Bowl, he was one of the top recruits. He was fantastic in his time in Westwood. He's an absolute legend, and we love Deshaun Foster, but the dude wasn't a head coach. And the fact is, UCLA made a dude who would not have gotten an interview for any head coaching jobs in any Power 5 programs their head man. But Bob Chesney is a guy that at JMU kind of picked up where Kirk Cignetti left off, and he had himself a really good time there. He's been successful everywhere he's gone. And I just want to play this clip of the Bob Chesney speech he gave to his team, where it really, I think, sets the tone for the culture that has already apparently changed a lot in Westwood.
Who's the guy that makes the omelets? What's his name? What is it? Alan. So you should all know that, right? You should also know Willie out there, right? You should know everybody else that's in there. Every one of the people that are doing the house cleaning in here. You should try to know their name. Walk by them and say hi. Think of it as someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's aunt, someone's something, because it is someone's something, right? So let's just make sure we respect them that way. They're not here to pick up after you. They're part of our team, right? They are part of our team. And at some point we'll have them come in here and introduce themselves with a picture of themselves up there and tell you a little bit about them and their family. Right, that's important. So just do not think of them as they're here to serve you. They're not. They're your equal. Right? They are your equal. They're just like a coach. They're just like any great player on this team. The best teams in America. It's never about any one person.
I mean, you got to love that from Bob Chesney. You got to know everyone's name of the facility. I was hoping he was saying that you got to know everyone's name that talks about this team on shows. I was hoping to hear my name at some point, but never heard that. But like I was saying, that I've heard from top-level boosters that when Deshaun Foster was the head coach at UCLA, that everyone in the building did not enjoy coming to work. They hated going to work. Like, I roll up, this guy's here. Like, what is going on? But immediately overnight, everyone loves going to work in Westwood, and they've hired a lot of positions that didn't even exist before. They got a new GM, the recruiting, as Ava just pointed out, like he's making his rounds in Westwood, going to, feels like every team's games. And yeah, like this is a guy who won the press conference and he's winning the first couple of months. Of course, UCLA feels like we're cursing, can't have nice things, and we'll probably have like an awesome season. And then USC will hire him to replace Lincoln Riley, and he'll go on to win like 5 national championships at USC. But at least right now, feels like the Bruins did something right. And it's a big Bob Chesney household, at least for now, until they lose that first game. But all right, let's get over this episode of, by the way, people are talking about your Ducks take. Are the Ducks still in the NFL? Ray, the movie Miracle was cool. Lots of chats today. Awesome. 26 is the 46 of college from Nando. All right, guys, that's going to do it. See you guys on Dodgers Dugout Live. A few minutes from now, we're going live on Dodgers Nation for Dodgers Dugout Live. The Dodgers in action. We'll talk about Jerkson, Profar, all kinds of stuff over there. So that's going to do it. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a like, drop a comment, follow me at DMac_LA, and also follow Noel Sanchez at Noise by Noel on Instagram and X too. I like your X picture. It's very Thanks, like I'm a journalist in the wild.
Thank you.
Right? Why? But your Instagram picture is you in the World Series trophy. Is there any reason why they're not the same?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have
and your TikTok's just your brand.
Yeah.
Right?
My Instagram's actually just my brand too.
Really?
My
my personal. That's right.
Instagram,
Your personal one.
Series show.
We got to get a new bet to make the personal one the main one.
Yeah.
And then or would actually the personal would go to the main one, and then you would make that your burner.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna be on my KD.
You got to get the free burner because then you can give yourself one like. Someone's got to start the likes.
Yeah.
And you can be that guy.
Yeah. I like that.
I like that. All right. Well, there you go. Follow Noise by Noel. Special thanks to BDR, Big Dog Rob, producing the show. See you guys in a little bit. And remember, lots of really great sports cities out there, but LA is the city of champions.